welcome back to Nadya's Identity Files. I have with me Liza Glazer, the beautiful, the fabulous, the very talented.
Thank you.
And Ted Stefan, the handsome and also very talented. Both dream experts and experts in many facets of the supernatural realm. Thank you both for being here with me today.
Thank you for having us on the show. It's really exciting to be here.
Oh, absolutely. And we were just talking about how sometimes people come back and forth in front of the window, and I was actually hoping for something very strange to go down. Maybe it'll happen later, probably as I'm doing my dream recitation, right? And you're going through that.
Yeah.
Who knows what'll happen? It'll trigger me. Oh my goodness. So you guys, you do a lot. You're dream experts. You're spiritual leaders. Ted and Liza also have their own church. You can tell us a little bit about that. And again, you're very well versed in many areas of the supernatural world. So what led you both to this path?
It really wasn't something we planned to do. You know, I had no plan to work with God or do anything supernatural. In fact, I wanted no part of it. But, you know, through experiences, you know, I had a really amazing kind of awakening spiritual experience that after that I started hearing from God and following His direction. And along the way I met this beautiful woman, and you know, she also was hearing from God and following His direction, right?
With me, it was through a little bit of a dark period of my life. I found that I have an ability to understand, interpret dreams, not only my own, but for other people. I had to go through 3 years of deep depression, very hard time, nightmares night after night. But through that experience, I understood that my dreams are actually trying to tell me something important. And when I started looking into my dreams, I had my spiritual experience, spiritual awakening. And since then, I was chosen, assigned, and deployed.
Oh, wow.
That's where the words, you know, from the Spirit to start helping others. And along the journey, you know, interpreting my dreams and improving my life, helping others to improve their lives as well.
It's like both of you had your own respective dream maps, and it led you to each other to
Absolutely.
continue on this journey of helping people understand their dreams and the importance of taking our dreams and harnessing them for our everyday lives. That's so exciting and so wonderful.
It's one of the great things when you're following your dreams, when the dreams that you have at night. It is a roadmap that's taking you places. When you begin to understand what they're telling you and following it, it will lead you right to where you need to be. It led me to my soulmate, my partner. You know, that didn't happen by accident. It happened by me listening and following. We actually met in a class, and in that class, I walked in the first day. I knew I was supposed to be there already because of the dreams, but I asked God at that moment, where should I sit? And in a vision, I saw a chair at the front of the room light up. I tried to sit other places, but didn't feel comfortable, and I went back to that chair. When the class started, she walked in and sat down next to me. And I knew that was the only way that we would have really connected is by sitting together, because it took us a day and a half before we spoke to one another. But
Right.
that was the plan of God right there, working.
Yeah, we
That's
were very
beautiful.
shy before, and we didn't like each other at first.
Oh,
but
no.
as soon as we started talking, we never stopped.
Who disliked whom first? I think
Both of us together.
Oh,
we
we-
were like from two different worlds, you know, kind of looking
We
at
looking
each other.
down at it, yeah. Who does she think she is? Oh my goodness, you know. And both of us were having those same thoughts, and we didn't look at each other. We didn't talk to each other for like a day and a half.
That's
true.
funny.
Judge a book by its cover.
Right? Well, obviously, how long have you been married now? You two?
11 years.
11 years? 10?
Well, that chair vision obviously was
The chair vision. I love that. That's a
chair
good title,
vision.
the chair vision.
the chair vision worked out superbly in more ways than one, clearly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why do you think a lot of people are hesitant to exploring their personal dreams and taking them and realizing that it's really the best roadmap, as you said, to realizing their waking dreams and goals? Or why do you ever get pushback from that? Or
Well, I think for the most part it's because your dreams can seem very strange and they're hard to understand. Quite often, also as a society, we say, oh, that was just a dream. So we're dismissing it so quickly without allowing ourselves to receive the guidance about what it's saying. Or it's so bizarre that it just seems totally disconnected from where we are and who we are and what we're doing. But really, we have to get past that. And that's the way we look at dreams is, the dreams are real. In fact, the dreams are more real than this physical life right now. This is the illusion right here.
Right.
And when we get that understanding, now we start to step into that reality.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So you need to wake up into the new reality. See, I didn't want to believe in dreams. For me, it just happened. I didn't think that I would find something in the world of the supernatural. I was trying to take care of my natural world, right? Trying to get a handle on life, trying to figure out my relationship, trying to figure out my career, all these things that all normal people do in everyday life. It wasn't happening. Everything was chaotic. But I knew in my heart that there is some sort of guidance that I can tap into and receive a supernatural push and supernatural understanding into going into my physical life.
Right.
So when I started looking into my dreams, I started gathering the supernatural facts. Supernatural power started working in my life. My life totally changed, completely changed.
So
to the better, of
it
course.
takes that faith first to kind of be the catalyst for moving into that deeper
Either faith or a
understanding,
lot
yeah.
of struggle.
Or a lot of struggle.
For me, it was
or
a lot
both.
of struggle that I wanted to get out of. I wanted to be happy, and all I was doing, looking for happiness, you know. So there are so many people out there looking for happiness, and we have to tell you, start looking somewhere else. If you are tired of looking in your normal surroundings and circumstances, your chance is to look out and to look into the supernatural.
And there's that saying, it's important to look from within, right? So I think a lot of people are kind of afraid of a form of interiority, which is ironic in today's society, given the wave, the upsurge of narcissism. But of course, narcissism is a very empty way of behaving, whereas looking from within requires a very substantive review of your inner workings, including your dreams. So
Yeah. As we look inside of ourselves, as I was saying, you really start to see who you really are. And this is something very exciting. But it is true. It's hard to let go. If we've invested a lot of time into who we think we are right now, it's hard to let go. I remember we were working with this one client, and she saw all these problems that she had in her life. And she started through working with the dreams, seeing that they were problems. She wasn't willing to let it go because she invested so much time into this is who she is, and she couldn't let it go. In fact, what was her thing? She wanted to see if she could file her shit, as she said, away. If she could put it into categories and keep it for later, when it wasn't serving her at all. But because of that investment, she couldn't let it go. It was
Which
a very
goes back
difficult
to
struggle.
the identity files,
Yeah.
I do believe. You need to realize what your identity is. Whether the identity you've chosen today is serving you, or there is another identity that actually more yours than you think.
right.
But only from looking in, as you said, you can find your true identity.
Right. And of course, I mean, we as people, we have so many identities, but I think all together they complete kind of like one collective, holistic identity. And sometimes that can be hard to identify or figure out without that self-reflection. How do you deal with people who have trouble remembering their dreams and they really want to be able to have this experience and break down dreams, but they just can't remember them for whatever reason? They claim to be deep sleepers.
It's a very good question. A lot of people do ask us that question, and I have to tell you, everybody dreams. Everybody dreams. Some people just don't remember. Maybe it's you waking up to an alarm, so you jerk yourself out of this sleeping state. Or maybe you just need to get yourself into the quiet position for a minute or two after you wake up and start getting back into the feeling. And the feeling usually will take you back into the pictorial part of the dream. You will remember a little bit, but that little bit will be enough to start you on a journey. But see, when you start paying attention, you will start dreaming. You just need to start realizing that dreams are real, so more will be given to you. Just like in everything else, when you invest, you always harvest.
Right.
So when you invest into remembering, you will start remembering your dreams as well.
Yeah.
I know you're also involved in hypnotherapy. Do you work with people, hypnotize them into remembering their dreams? Is that
You
a
know,
thing?
it's very
I've
easy.
heard about it.
Dreaming is a natural process. So hypnotherapy basically is helping you to get into the state of focused concentration, which is exactly the same state of the dream space, of the dream state. So if you start realizing that when you are hypnotized, you're actually dreaming, you will start remembering dreams like that. You don't even need to be hypnotized
Right.
into remembering, see?
Wow.
But suggestions is always good and it does work. But here it is, if you meditate, if you know how to take yourself into the state of focused concentration, which is a meditative state, you will start remembering your dreams. It's a natural process.
Wow. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, everybody, I am a very lucid dreamer. I remember so many of my dreams. It's very rare that I don't. So when people tell me like, oh, well, I don't dream, obviously we just discussed dream. Everybody dreams, but
Everybody.
For whatever reason they can't remember them. But obviously your work is really important to helping people access their dreams and realize that with just the right amount of focus and belief that, they too can start reviewing and parsing out their dreams and taking them to cultivate and grow their success in their personal lives and professional lives.
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Absolutely.
So when we come back from this next break, we're going to dig in a little bit more with identity and the dream space, maybe touch on some of your other supernatural work, because I'm super intrigued and I know my audience is super intrigued. And after that, we will have our live dream consult rather than our on-air social media consult, so stay tuned.